Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're continuing our massive retrospective of Toy Story universe as we edge oh so closer to the release of Toy Story 5 today. And that brings us to the movie that many felt didn't even need to exist, Toy Story 4. Let's be real for a second. When Toy Story 3 dropped back in 2010, it felt like the absolute undeniable perfect conclusion to cinema's greatest trilogy. Andy giving his toys away to Bonnie broke us all. It closed the loop. So when Pixar announced a fourth movie, the collective internet went, wait, why? But here's my take, and where I might differ from some of the hardcore purists out there. I actually really like Toy Story 4.
You what?
Am I mad they made it? No, not at all. Did it tarnish the third film? No, because it's trying to answer a completely different question. While the third movie was about Andy letting go of his childhood, the fourth movie is about Woody figuring out who he is after fulfilling his life's purpose.
Whoa! It's raining cats and dogs out there!
The movie kicks off by filling in a massive gap in the lore. What happened to Bo Peep? We get a flashback showing she was given away years ago, establishing the deep, unresolved bond between her and Woody. Flash forward to present day, and Woody is dealing with a tough pill to swallow. He's no longer the favorite toy. Bonnie is ignoring him in the closet, and he's struggling to adapt to a world where he isn't the leader calling the shots. Things get crazy when Bonnie goes to kindergarten orientation and literally creates a new toy out of trash named Forky. Forky instantly becomes Bonnie's absolute favorite, but he suffers from a hilarious existential crisis. He doesn't want to be a toy. He knows that he has to fulfill his destiny of being garbage.
No. Big girl's scary.
Woody basically turns into a full-time babysitter at this point, keeping Forky alive and attached to Bonnie. During a family road trip, Forky jumps out the window and Woody has to go after him. This sets off a massive rescue mission and a long walk down a highway where Woody tries to explain the deep spiritual honor of being a child's toy. Eventually, that works, and it takes them to Second Chance Antiques, an antique shop in a small town. This is where the movie shifts into a higher gear, introducing Gabby Gabby, a vintage pull-string doll with a broken voice box and an army of genuinely terrifying ventriloquist dummies. Gabby Gabby doesn't want to hurt Woody out of malice. She wants his working voice box so she can fully experience being loved by a kid.
I'm Gabby Gabby, and I love you.
Wow, you need to fix that.
While trying to escape, Woody runs into none other than Bo Peep, but she isn't the porcelain lamp decoration he remembers. Bo has been a lost toy for years, traveling the world, driving a motorized skunk, and loving every second of her absolute freedom. She represents a complete paradigm shift for Woody. For 3 movies, being a lost toy was the ultimate nightmare. Bo shows him it can actually be an incredible and fulfilling life. And ultimately, that's one of the greatest things about life. And something hardcore OG fans tend to forget is that characters do change. It's been 30 years since the first movie. Have you changed your life's big goals from 30 years to now? I guess I just don't quite understand the purist argument when it comes to these lifelong characters such as Woody or Luke Skywalker. That's a deeper debate for a different day.
What you looking at, Sheriff?
What? Oh, no, that wasn't. No, nothing.
Now, we've come to another one of the bigger gripes with fans from Toy Story 4. A lot of people walked out of the theater upset that the classic backlog of amazing characters like Buzz, Jessie, Rex, Slinky, Ham, and Potato Heads were completely sidelined. Buzz gets a bizarre subplot about listening to his inner voice, which is just his buttons, and the rest of the gang is basically stuck waiting in the RV the entire movie. But there's a deeply emotional, real-world reason for for a lot of this and that some fans completely miss. Don Rickles, the legendary voice of Mr. Potato Head, sadly passed away in 2017 before he could record a single line of dialogue for this movie. Instead of cheapening his legacy by recasting him immediately, Pixar got permission from his family to mine through 25 years of archival audio. They used outtakes, video game clips, theme park recordings, and unused lines from previous 3 films to piece together his performance. I do have to add that it is a double-edged sword, though, because on the other hand, you have characters like Mrs. Potato Head, played by the iconic Estelle Harris, who only had a handful of lines in the movie, and half of them were the grunting, not really lines. Since she has now passed away, this will be her final movie appearance, so because of that, it is sad on that regard. But because they had to rely on all that existing audio, they logically had to scale back his role, and unfortunately others, which naturally shifted the script to focus heavily on Woody, Bo, and brand new characters like Forky, shout out to Tony Hale, Ducky and Bunny, and Canada's greatest stuntman, Duke Kaboom. The climax of the film is a masterclass in emotional storytelling, and honestly, what isn't in Toy Story? Woody willingly gives up his voice box to Gabby Gabby, allowing her to eventually finally find a kid who loves her fully. It's a beautiful moment of pure, selfless empathy from Woody. But the real gut punch comes at the carousel when it's time for Woody to get back into the RV with Bonnie's toys. He looks at Bo Peep and then looks back at his old family. Buzz walks up to him, gives him the ultimate reassurance, saying,
"She'll be okay."
Buzz isn't talking about Bo Peep. He's talking about Bonnie. Woody makes the monumental choice to leave his badge behind with Jessie, pass the torch, and stay behind as a lost toy with Bo Peep to help her other rootless toys find some home. The movie ends with the classic lines split between 2 of our favorite leads.
To infinity and beyond.
Ultimately, Toy Story 4 is a beautiful epilogue. If Toy Story 3 was the perfect ending to Andy's story, Toy Story 4 is the perfect ending to Woody's. It acknowledges that life doesn't just stop when major chapters end. You have to redefine your purpose. Which brings us to the elephant in the room, Toy Story 5. With Woody out in the world as a free toy and the rest of the gang still with Bonnie, how are they going to bring the family back together? What are they going to do about the iconic voices we have lost? So we do know that they have recast a couple of the legendary actors for Toy Story 5. And of course, the introduction of technology sparks Woody's return. Aside from that, you'll have to wait and see till you see it in theaters, or you check out my Toy Story 5 review later today. But let me know in the comments below on this one. Do you think Toy Story 4 gets too much hate, or do you still wish they had stopped with 3? Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and come back soon for that Toy Story 5 out of theater movie review. And now that you've got some time, you can go refill that popcorn bucket.